Good evening. Welcome to a long-awaited episode of Forensic Foreplay. How's everybody doing? We're taking a different approach with tonight's show. This is ongoing and active, and we really wanted to bring this to the forefront to alert everybody that we have a manhunt going on. We have a former, I guess I can say former, Madison County Councilman Steve Sumner, who is facing a maximum prison sentence of 57 years if convicted on a charge of rape with 12 other charges. The additional charges were filed against Sumner, who is 52, who is now facing a total of 13 criminal charges for alleged sexual activity with a girl under the age of 16. And come to find out, old Stevie boy hasn't been seen since April. So we got a fucker to find. We've got various credit card charges in several cities, San Antonio, Dallas, Irving, even Atlanta, several cities in Oklahoma. So we really want to get his face out there because he's a steaming pile of garbage that needs to be wearing orange right now. So let's get into it. Let's bring on my co-hosts, John and Adam, if you're ready.
Well, Adam's going to be behind the scenes. He's our helping produce this blockbuster show tonight. So, it's been a while since we've had a show. So, but I think this is a very important show because this is sort of an exclusive. I mean, no one has really dove into this. And even here in Indiana, it has really flown under the radar. So we're gonna expose this, and tonight we're gonna talk about finding this guy mostly, and then maybe in another episode as things progress, we will dig into the case more. So we're gonna focus more on the manhunt, like you said. We're gonna see if we can find this guy. We got a lot of true crimers out there that love to dig into these things, and they're all over the country, even as far as Australia. And all over and the UK got a British accent then.
Now, here's the thing. I don't think that he can leave the country because he has a warrant. He would get flagged.
Okay.
I don't think he's able to leave unless he hopped the border, in Ohio. That may be the only way that he could leave the States.
Yeah. So, well, let's go ahead and get into this thing. We're just going to go ahead and play some of the interview. We got 4 parts tonight of this interview with Jami, and she's the estranged, basically ex-wife, but legally not ex because of all this mess.
Technically, they are still married. So, in a way, it sucks for her, but with this ongoing, this gives her a little bit of leverage because by law, they are still husband and wife.
Yeah, it's like, I guess you can't testify against your husband or wife. Is there something there? But I don't think she's going to have a problem with testifying against
this guy. She is also privy to his cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
His bank, all the things. And honestly, if she wanted to, she could issue a silver alert because he is over 50. He is missing and endangered nationwide. That would help boost his face, putting it out there because legally she is his wife. Well,
we're going to boost his out there because
we're going to make old Stevie boy famous.
Yeah. And when you meet Jami, you'll see how sweet and nice she is.
Oh, I communicated with her back and forth today over email, and she is such a sweet pea.
Yeah.
She's a joy of a lady.
The victims of these type of things are, your heart breaks for them. So let's go ahead and let's play this first thing. We're going to get to know Jami a little bit and some of the situation. And then we'll come back on and we'll do a little commentary. And then we got 3 more parts after that. In part 2, I think if you watch our show or anything before, you're going to freak out a little bit about how small the world is. And really, how small Alexandria, Indiana is. It's like crazy. Yeah. Well, you got the orange. I got the blue. Come on. It's like we're like
not being inconspicuous or anything.
The Golden State Warriors on here. So let's get to that clip. I know we got viewers that want to see this and meet Jami. So here you go. Hi, Forensic Foreplay viewers. We have a guest here tonight who's got one of those stories that you hear about and you just hope it never happens to you. So I'm going to let our guest introduce herself tonight and tell us a little bit about what the heck's going on.
Well, I am Jami Sumner. My ex-husband has a lot of charges on him for molesting our adopted children, and he is now on the run and hoping to find him.
This happened how many years ago?
3 years ago this month.
3 years ago. And so you've sort of been living this nightmare a little bit in silence because you felt like I can't talk about it, and you don't want to talk about it.
It's feeling like, didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. We've just kind of felt stuck. We are stuck where we're at. Can't move on. Can't even move. I mean, I want to move from where I'm at and feel safe. We're scared every single day. I mean, I can't even tell you how scared we are, but no one to talk to at all about it. So
you say you've been living scared in that. Is that one of the reasons why you really want to try to get a little more information out about this? Because, you know, your ex-husband's on the run and you don't know where he is. He could be around the corner. He could be in Australia. We don't know.
Absolutely. That is the very, very scary part of it. Yes.
The main thing right now is to get this guy and get him back to face the music, so to speak. How to give our viewers an idea, how dangerous do you think he is? Is he desperate, or is he manipulative? What should people be looking out for?
He is a very, very, very cunning, manipulative person. He completely fooled me for 20 years. I didn't know he lied to me till the night everything happened. And I'm not dumb. And he is one of the most cunning, lying people I've ever met in my life. I think he is extremely dangerous. I do. Yeah.
So,
narcissist.
Yeah. So do you think that he could stay gone for a long time? Do you think he's that creative or influential or manipulative that he could just stay a long time away?
Yes, I absolutely do. When he does something 100%. And I know that with him gone, he has thought this through. And I think he's going to be very hard to find. I think he knew what he was doing.
So how long has he been missing? And give us a little background on that.
Well, I just heard about it like 3 weeks ago, but from what I've learned today, he's not been seen since April. So
he just goes when nobody really even noticed until like even you like 3 weeks ago. I mean, I know that you're estranged and not, you know, he's not calling you every day going, "Hey, honey, how's it going?"
Right. No, we have restraining orders and I have had no contact with him since this happened. But through another family member, it just randomly came to us that he was on the run. And I immediately, alerted the authorities what I had heard just in case. And then, like I said, just today heard he's actually been gone since April.
So what connections does Steve have that you might think should be investigated, or maybe locations that he might be there, or friends, or do you have any ideas of where he might have ended up, or is he just moving around? What's your feelings on that?
My gut has told me, because he talked so much about when he was in the service in Great Falls, Montana. That's one of the first things that came to my mind. He was there and in Colorado. Great Falls, Montana, because he talks so much about it. That was where he was out in the military, and he made some major connections out there. I know he had reconnected over the phone a few times with one of his best friends that actually lived in his house for several years. And I just feel like he's going to go back. And I know that area would be an easy place to hide yourself. Colorado, he went to Nazarene Bible College there. And he's talked and told stories about both of those places for years.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Calm down. I know it's like, all right. So
those little things I'm picking up on.
Yeah. Before you get going, I'm going to put our thing on the bottom here. If you have in the live chat, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, Twitter, you cannot, because we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you have a comment or a question, hey, put it up there. We'll talk about it in between our clips. So feel free to do that. And so now go ahead, Deedee. I got our business out of the way on the show part.
listening to her, I mean, my heart breaks for her, but at the same time, I'm becoming more infuriated.
Oh,
I'm just, you know, you ever want to break someone's neck? I just,
chicken. You want to break his neck like a chicken, right? I mean, it's like, you know, the guy.
I mean, I'm over here. So he's been on the run since April. Somebody let that happen.
Yeah, well, and I think
let that happen. Like
we're not going to dig too far into the case, but you know, he had a $5,000 bond, so that's $500 to get out. And apparently, there's a bounty hunter that's involved with this
level 3 felony rape.
And then he was, able to prolong, fire an attorney, and then just sort of slip away.
I mean, I don't want to be a harpy bitch over here. You know, I'm a mother of 4. I've got 2 girls. What court system do you have out there in Indiana to let this dude just? What is going on?
Let's put it this way. In Indianapolis, it's pretty busy right now. You know, we're averaging 200 murders a year and all sorts of garbage. So I think that our system's overwhelmed a little bit. But you're right. This one is a high profile.
I don't know the location of y'all's counties there. I mean, I know a little bit, but isn't he in Madison County?
Yeah. I mean, Alexandria. I mean, well, hold on to that thought. Let's play our next clip because you know,
somebody's got some friends
small there's a hint here that we're doing. There's a small world here, and well, let's just let Jami explain it. Colorado has a little bit of a reputation for people going missing. Mm-hmm. So is there any correlation to that?
Yes, absolutely. The Susan Morphew case, when that came about, he watched that nonstop, 24 hours a day. He watched everything on YouTube, everything he could watch. And he said that Barry was one of his best friends. He was an avid hunter. They would never find her because he knew exactly what he was doing. And he's an avid hunter, and he knew exactly where to hide her. He put in our pine trees between our houses. And Steve even showed me some pictures, and you know, it's just really eerie how much he watched that, like he was trying to learn something.
Yeah, I was going to say, did that raise any red flags with you? I mean, this was previous before, you know, the 3 years. Mm-hmm. This about the same time, isn't it? Because the Barry thing's about 3 years old as well. So is this right around that same time?
Yep, it wasn't too long after, and it didn't raise any red flags until after everything happened. And then I was like,
OMG.
I had noticed things here were kind of escalating with him as far as the way he had treated me. And then after everything happened, I mean, it did cross my mind. He was going to kill me.
So at the time, you didn't really think about it, but afterwards you're like going.
Right. I had no reason to think about it before, but afterwards I was like, whoa, yeah.
He didn't ask you to move to Colorado or anything, did he?
No,
I mean,
no, I'm not sure it got that far.
Okay. Yeah, that is that. So what did he ever make any comments about, I mean, other than the fact that he did this, did he think that, was he sort of cheering for him, or was he thinking he did it, or I hope they catch him, or what was his attitude? What was his demeanor?
I was trying to think about that, because I would say to him, how could you do that? How could you do that? You know, to your wife. And I would say, oh, I think he did it. I really think he did it, because we watched it that much. And he just studied it. It was just more like he studied it. He really didn't have an opinion other than he'll never, saying that they'll never find her. He knows what he's doing. He's good at what he does. He knows how to hide her. That's the kind of things.
So do you think this had any, I mean, obviously his behavior had been going on for quite a while.
Right.
Do you think that was running in his mind at all about, maybe I'll get caught, or, this might be my situation where I have to make a choice? Because
absolutely,
in the Suzanne case, it apparently she was ready to leave him.
Right.
And I would think if you were to say something like that, because of this situation or whatever, but it sounds like you had a clean break. All right. So we're going to get into that next. So, one of the comments here, Lorraine White
I was actually going to.
I was going to say, well connected. Let's talk about that because, as you mentioned in the thing there, what did you notice about this guy?
And I have to be.
What was his connections? I mean,
I really want to be. I'm trying so hard to be politically correct, but I'm a Gen Xer.
Now, Deedee, now hold on a second. Nobody's going to accuse you of ever being politically correct. I mean, I gotta.
Why? And the ladies in the chat, whether you love me or hate me, I don't care. But you have to agree with me on this one thing, that birds of a feather will always stick together.
Yeah, that's sort of.
And it is quite strange how we have so many dots. It's like picture pages. You ladies remember picture pages with Bill Cosby. If you're a Gen X, you'll know. All the dots. We just connect the dots.
Yep.
When I watched this interview today, that part about Morphew and how she kind of just spilled it out there, my stomach sank into my butt. Okay. It made me feel yucky. It made me feel gross. But how ironic, because there's another thing. I was just talking to my sweet pea next to me, because he's always next to me. If any of y'all had tuned into the Morphew trial where they were going over the little pocket man's history on his computer, how he was Googling certain things about teenage girls.
Yeah, and also he was watching true crime too. He was watching true crime shows.
Like a hawk. And I'm a true crimer, and Morphew was watching it way more than me. Here, as of late, I've been tuning into, I got a YouTuber who's posting all the Casey Kasems from 1979 up to whenever Casey ended. So this is what I've been delving into. I've been laying off the true crime. I just moved into a beautiful new home. So I'm just embracing all the great music that, we all grew up loving. But don't you find it funny? This is regarding to, the pocket man, how he would go hunting and, you kill animals when you hunt, and he's listening to true crime.
It might be listening. Now, Deedee, Pocket Man is your fond nickname for Mr. Morphew.
It is. That is my nickname.
Yeah. So viewers, if Deedee makes you a nickname, you may be under her radar. I just want to say, if
I give you a nickname, I'm watching you.
Let's talk about the connections. How much do you think the political connections that saved him? Is that how he got a low bond and
political connections? I honestly think that is an understatement, because I don't think it's the majority. Yes, the majority is political connections. I also think, ladies, don't come for me, I think that there is also religious connections as well. People going to the same church, going to the same man groups. They all roast their wieners over the same bonfire. It is the same associations of politics and your churches. And I'm not demonizing. I'm just saying everybody is sitting on a bench around the same bonfire.
Yeah, and this guy's a pastor, an elected official. I mean, it's like, he's got some serious cover. So let's go ahead and get on to the next part, because I know that folks are probably wondering, why didn't she end up like Suzanne Morphew? And what happened? So
because this girl, I'm going to tell you something. This girl had a little bit. Since she was close to home, she probably had a little bit more of a system, like a hammock, where Barry moved Suzanne out of where she was comfy, and he pulled her out of her lifeline. That is the difference here.
Yeah, and I think that he caught him instead of they were trying to have a different. So there's a couple different things there. So let's listen to Jami. But when you found out about the activity, and
Mhm.
what was your process? How were you able to make that break away from that without ending up, in a bad way? What did you do to get that break from there?
I called and ran to his parents, which is what I've done several times over the years. If I needed help from him, I would call his dad. And so I called that night, and that's what I did. I ran next door to safety and immediately called the police.
Okay. And then how long did it take the police to react?
Quite a while. I got thrown into a room that night and confined while we were waiting on the police. So yes,
Okay.
it took a while.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, was that a safety precaution, or did you feel like you were being confined? I mean, was
Oh,
that
I was being confined.
okay? Because it wasn't your parents' house; it was his parents' house. Okay.
And it was his dad.
I don't think we have to say much more about that. But hey, you never know. That might have saved your life. So you do never know. But that was she was very lucky, and I think that she didn't realize her situation, as she said in the first part. 20 years this guy was playing this
How
thing.
long was she married to
He
him?
was married to him for 20 years, and then and obviously these there's more to the story, and we're not going to dive into a lot of this part of things because we'll do that later. Right now we're focusing on finding him, and then if there is more to be had and more, we're going to probably dive into that, because there's a group of people that are, just like Suzanne's group that was trying to find her. There's a group of people that are trying to find justice for Jami, because she truly has been in a hell for 3 years. And
her
honestly,
whole situation just breaks my heart. I mean, I'm sure, the ladies in the chat can understand, being a woman, when you say I do and you invest 2 decades with a man and you find out he's a monster.
I know it. It's like, I don't know
The
what
heartbreak.
it is.
Listening to this woman's story, my heart sank into my fucking stomach. It broke. I felt so bad. It could, you know what? They always say you think you know somebody. Ladies, it could be any one of us. It could be any one of us.
And it is and we have over the 4th, we had the Sound of Freedom come out with sex trafficking, and this is a subject that is very hard to talk about. It's very, very hard, and
people with a nasty burn in the back of their throat.
Tips of the iceberg. There's so much more, and if you are a victim of sexual abuse, find a safe way
we need to get like local connections where victims can turn to confidentially, where they can feel safe. But even with y'all's court system and y'all's PD, I wouldn't even trust them.
Yeah, there is way more to Jami. This interview, we went a little deeper, and we're trying to keep her somewhat insulated from too much exposure. Her situation right now is find this guy, let's get him away so that she can have some closure and some peace. I mean, and honestly, she's in a decent place now. She's actually able to talk to a few folks. I was able to talk to them, and there's going to be some other people come forward, and we're hoping that this will get exposure, put some pressure on him, and he may be watching, Deedee, and if he is watching, hey dude, turn yourself in. Yeah, don't let Deedee get you before the law does. So yeah. I'm gonna stop you before you say something that gets us in trouble.
I am so in tune to my ancestral heritage, and I'm all for those medieval anus ripping devices. He's got it coming.
I'll protect. Hey, Steve, if you're watching this,
for you, Steve.
Turn yourself in. So anyway, let's get back to the last part of this. This is talking about the finances a little bit. And we're going to get into maybe some people that might be aiding and abetting and different things.
There was a lady in the chat that brought up a name, and
I'm telling you, there's some people. There's some people that are. Yeah, there's some folks that are really invested in helping with this, and and Jami's so sweet. I mean, it's just
she's such a sweet lady, and props to. So I'm gonna any woman that has her own business. Good on you. She's got a cute little boutique out where she is. And this schmuck was stealing from her.
Yeah, and it did it. At first, it hurt her business because I think a lot of people thought she might be tied in it, and he was taken from. Well, let's go ahead and listen to this, and then we'll come on the other side, and then we'll start getting down to business on where this guy might be, how we can find him, how we can get the word out there. You mentioned the silver alert. So let's listen to the last clip here. This is part 4 of the interview with Jami, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Well,
financially, how's this guy surviving financially? I mean, he's like robbing banks like John Dillinger? What's up?
Right. I have no idea. I know when everything happened, we had a large stock account and he had been taking money out of my business and stashing it. He has not worked. Well, he has worked. He sold his church building.
So he's been gone since April, but sold the building in June, or is this before?
Said he sold the church in January and the building in June.
Yeah, and he's been gone since April. So while he was gone, the building was sold.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, I just so
yeah.
I can see why you might be worried that he's close by.
Yeah,
because somehow papers get signed and
right.
I know you can do a lot of stuff electronically now and whatnot, but
right.
That's sort of when you're selling something for cash to go run, hide.
Right.
I mean, he didn't just run away with nothing.
Right.
If this guy's like what you talk about, he's a plotter, he's a planner, he's a schemer.
Yes.
He's going to have a plan, and he'd been traveling while he was on bond. Where did you know where he was going? Was he giving you any? Well, obviously you were estranged at that time, but
right.
Do you have any ideas where he was going?
Well, I had a bank statement of his, and throughout the whole bank statement, there was all kinds of places: California, Florida, a lot in Texas, like a lot. It was showing that he was more out of the state than he was in the state. So yes, he was traveling all over the place.
Now those bank statements, are they hints on maybe possibly where he could have gone, or where he could be now, or
possibly? Possibly. And I was told that he was traveling for work. I know for sure one place on there was a vacation spot that we used to go to in Florida, Longboat Key, Florida. So that was not for work. And
so do you have the list of these places? I mean, is that stuff you have, or did you have to turn that over, or?
No, I have it. Yes.
Ooh, that might not be a bad idea to maybe put down, just, we don't have to put amounts or anything, but just put down the cities. If
right.
You can do that, we can list them, and I'm telling you, we got people everywhere. I mean,
absolutely.
And that might not be a bad idea. We got do you think he has changed his identity? Do you think he's got like a big beard now and
I wonder,
head, wearing biker glasses? I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me if he changed his identity. I mean, I know he had a passport, which I have the original, but he could have very easily gotten a copy because it is still active.
Right. And I would think that with his skipping, has he got a warrant out, or what? So he's got a warrant out.
Yes.
I think, don't they hold passports for that kind of thing? I mean, once and he's considered fled, right? I mean, the authorities have considered him fled.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, what we got here is an old fashioned manhunt. And we got to get him found.
Yes. Yes. So we can stop being scared. 3 years of just being we're never not scared. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, my heart just hurts for you having to go through this thing. I mean, you seem like a very lovely person. You have a clothing store, a boutique up there in Anderson that it looks lovely. I mean,
Thank you.
And then you have this.
Yes.
And it's just, and it's still going. It's not like it's still open wounds, so to speak. Yes. Well, I'll tell you, we're going to do our best on this program to get this information out. I mean, it's not so much about the case right now. It's about finding the guy.
Yes.
Finding the guy that is doing this, and we're going to bring him back to a full piece orchestra so he can face the music.
Yes.
So we'll see what we can do. Okay. So, Jami, I thank you for being so brave to come on with this interview. And
absolutely.
Now we're going to turn it over to Deedee, the crime dog. She's going to dig into this one.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll get some other true crimers out there.
Yep.
We'll see what we can do. We want to bring you some relief. We want to bring you some comfort in this, because
my kids and I would both appreciate that very much.
Well, we can't promise anything, but we're sure going to try. And you seem like you're in a decent place now from the from what's going on. And we just appreciate you coming on and telling us your story.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So there you go. That's our 4 parts. And, later, I believe we'll probably get into some more of this as there's developments. And on the bottom there on the ticker, guess what? Those are all of the cities that are on the bank statement.
Yeah.
So, pay attention. We're going to let the ticker roll there for a minute. And, she definitely has some people that are cheering for her, and, wanted her to do well. And, this is, other people. Jami has a lot of friends supporting, there's a lot of stuff here. So let's go ahead and talk about, let me get this off here. Sorry. That's what happens when you're a producer and everything else. So that's the one. Jami's got a lot of friends. So let's go ahead and talk about the, how to catch this guy.
I think that we should address some comments in the chat because I want to, let our viewers know that we see them. Catherine Callahan, I see you, girl. I am not local. I was in Indiana for a brief 3 weeks over the summer, and I've relocated.
Yeah, you're still in Texas.
She made a point. Yeah, I'm still in Texas, everybody. That Jami was outnumbered. She was outnumbered. We have a lot of crooked politicians backing this guy, a very crooked farming, wealthy politicians that their entire family is on one city council, and that doesn't surprise me.
So you think that's they're running some cover for this guy
to do with it. And you know what is so funny is these little small county commissioners, they think they're all big stuff. Well, if he's out of the state, and we pretty much know that we can gather that he is with his charges, this is now a federal issue. The FBI is not going to cover for Republican commissioners, y'all.
Yeah, well,
they're not.
And that this might be a good time to say, you know what, if you are somebody, if you are somebody who is allegedly helping or whatever, or know some things, and you do
you're
not,
going to go down right along with them.
Yeah, if you come forward, you can probably get out of this. I had a buddy that was a whistleblower on a guy that embezzled a bunch of money. He was a whistleblower, and they crawled up his what about the thing, and he was the one turning them in. So you got to be careful with this. So if you know some stuff, this, here we go. This is somebody after your own heart. Here's Sandy Palmer. She said, you got some cuss words in there, just like for you. So
my baby boy was a sailor, and so was my granddaddy. You can't expect me to be all prim and polished. I'm sweet.
It wouldn't be an exciting show when I tell people about producing this show and being the co-host and trying to get we have an over and under if it's 5 F-bombs in one show or not.
I'm a little spicy.
Yeah, you're passionate about what we're trying to do here. So let's get down to this. We talked about a silver alert. I think you're going to work on a wanted poster.
I have my trusty, my sweet pea next to me. My husband, he is, because I am not tech savvy, y'all.
No, you are not.
So he is making, what we're doing is we're making a wanted poster. Okay. We're giving his name, his height, his weight, cities that he's been last seen, or where his last spending was, his credit card charges, debit card, whether he's getting gas or buying snacks or, whatever. We're making a wanted poster. And in every city that this man has laid a charge, I'll be sending this wanted poster by fax or email to their PD. And since I know there's a charge out here in Atlanta, I'm going to be sending that over. Dallas, Irving, San Antonio. My daughter lives near Irving. There's Dallas, where it's going there too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a PDF, and I will post it on the Mouthwash Show. And I want everyone to listen. Once it's posted, I want you to download that. Whether you want to download it and email it, download it and print copies, post it everywhere you go. Because eventually this is going to close in on him. and he's either going to get desperate. I would honestly not be surprised if he was across the border. But
really, yeah, I mean, you can get there, but that's going to take a lot of jack. That's going to take some cash.
Is Mexico an extradition country? No, and they're not. And that's why he would go to Mexico. Mexico is because he wouldn't be extradited.
I know some banditos down there. We'll take care of him down there. They'll never come back. Well,
here's the thing. Depending on which route he goes, it wouldn't surprise me if you found him in a ditch.
Oh.
Going up through Brownsville.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be some justice, wouldn't it? Okay. We're gonna get this thing wound up here, and we're gonna have some more because it looks like Catherine Callahan and Nicole
Mary Nethery.
Mary Nethery. There's some.
It seems like this family is really doing for him. Now, what I would like to know, if they're being so cushy and bending over backwards for a felon, what does he have on them?
Yeah, so this is
you got to think in Republican terms because everybody does things for each other if they've got dirt on each other.
Right, there may be
like
some
that on both sides. Actually, it's just you scratch my back, I scratch your back in a game of Uno. I won't spill your dirt if you don't spill mine.
Yeah, well, and getting one of these folks to flinch first before another one does.
So
that first person may get out of some trouble if they were to say, "Hey, look, we have this and that." So
Likens bought his property. I was aware of that, Catherine, but I wanted someone to bring it up in the chat. Now, here's the thing: how can a man sell a church? Isn't that the house of God? How do you sell a church?
Apparently, it was.
I'm more of I'm an Odinist. I'm an Old Norse belief person. How do you sell a church? Because I thought that was the house of God. You don't.
Well, they sell them here in Indiana all the time. So
that's just weird.
Yeah, well, hey, they come and go. The church I'm in now
with Wes Likens. And isn't that the lady that looks like an olive? What's her name? Is it Darlene? She looks like an olive on a toothpick, like two toothpicks. Is that her kid?
Who Darlene is?
Is that her name? Am I right?
I don't know who it. So if somebody
expect me to be nice.
Yeah, no, we do not. When it comes to these things, you are passionate about it, and you want somebody's head to roll.
Catherine, I want you to get with John and get my email. And next show, we're going to go into more. We're going to put the pressure on those Stevie Craig. Let's all wear orange next episode.
Yeah. So wear the orange. I'll keep wearing my Suzanne. We got to bring Suzanne.
I knew it was Darlene.
Darlene. Okay. Yeah.
She's the little prune that wears the god awful Hillary suits. Like somebody needs to get her to a fitter. None of her outfits.
Darlene. Okay. So apparently this has come out that there's some issues there, and we. As I said, this first place, we're going to get this manhunt going. We know some other
drug robberies.
What's that?
William. Is there any way we can bring William up on the panel? Is there any way we could do that?
Yep, right there it is.
William, you want to come on the panel?
Oh, on the well, we can't bring him up this time, but right now. I mean, come on, we're just doing the manhunt now. We'll dig into it. Let's put it like this. So if you're in the chat and you want to do either a recorded interview or you want to come on and have a live interview, hey, hit us up. You can catch us. I have the Chateau de Marcel studio, but I have the Mouthwash show. We have Forensic Foreplay. Do something anyway. We have other shows. Our main email is mouthwashtalkshow@gmail.com. I think we can get Adam's producer to put it in the chat for me. I would appreciate that. And just drop me an email. What we'll do is, even if you just have information, we'll set up a StreamYard call.
Let's make it like a hotline, like a tip line.
And you can call us.
Call or write.
And if anybody's got a more recent picture, I know Adam sent us some, but honestly, we literally just got on this case about 2 days ago. And when I sent out the preview for the show just like yesterday, and it had like 900 views and 45 shares, I knew that we would have a good audience tonight. And this will go on some true crime shows, and we will be able to get this nationwide. The true crimers They don't play. They don't
Well,
play.
here's the thing. I want everybody to remember one little thing. Actually, it's not one little thing. Okay, just give me 1 second here. Okay, hear me out. These are the criminal charges filed against former Madison County Councilman Steve Sumner and the possible penalties. Level 3 felony rape, possible sentence of 3 to 16 years, up to $10,000. Level 5 felony child seduction, possible sentence of 1 to 6 years and up to $10,000 fine. Level 5 child seduction, possible sentence 1 to 6 years and up to $10,000 fine. Let me, just correct that. Level 5 felony sexual misconduct with a minor, up to 1 to 6 years, $10,000 fine. Y'all,
there's like 13 charges.
Level 6 felony attempted possession of child pornography. Possible sentence of 6 months to 2.5 years, up to $10,000 fine.
And a $5,000 bond.
Class A misdemeanor contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Possible sentence 1 year, up to $5,000 fine. Child battery. Level 6 felony child battery. Possible sentence 6 months to 2.5 years.
Yes.
Would you mothers feel comfortable with this guy renting a house next to you, or walking down your street, or running for your city council? Think about it, y'all.
In Madison County, yes, you had that. Now, we have heard that there may be some other people coming forward. So this is just the tip of this, but I want to concentrate on finding this guy, and then we'll dig into some more details later. And with that, Dee, do you have any closing words? Because we're going to wind this up.
I do. Y'all, I want you to keep an eye open for the on the mouthwash.
Mouthwash and forensic foreplay on our. We have we have both of those.
I'm making a wanted poster. I got my sweet pea here next to me that is working on this wanted poster, and I want y'all to whether it's, you could copy and save it and print it, you could PDF it, you could email it. Let's get those printed out. Let's get his ugly mug is about to be Mr. America right now in an orange jumpsuit. Let's make this man famous.
Yeah, there
he is. Oh, look. Oh, why does his chin look like a butt? Does anybody notice that?
Was
that rude? I'm sorry.
It looks like he's got like some kind of sweatsuit on or something, or is that
no? That actually looks to be like he just got his hair cut. But that's a mug shot. So this must be Indiana's cloak of shame. Maybe. I
don't know. He doesn't look real pleased with things, but this is probably 3 years
old.
With
that profile,
we don't have the like I said in there. Maybe he's grown a beard or changed his identity or whatever. So
Les Willis. Yep, Board of Elections. Oh, I'm wondering if y'all don't have election fraud out in Indiana.
Yeah. Well, Barry Moore, if you voted for Suzanne.
I married an election fraud analyst. So right away he's like, is there fraud in Indiana?
Yeah, listen, that's for a whole nother. That's for the Mouthwash political talk show that we talk about that stuff.
But I want to thank everyone for coming in, and let's just work real hard to pin this guy down. We don't want him walking the streets. Who knows? He could be the crossing guard at your child's elementary school. Think about it.
Yep. Bus driver, whatever. I mean,
yep.
Whatever. So, all right, folks. Well, stay tuned. We will we'll keep on this. The manhunt is on. We want to beat that bounty hunter to catching him. So, true crimers challenge has been laid out for you, and spread the word. We'll get that wanted picture out. Pay attention to the Mouthwash Talk Show page and Forensic Foreplay, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, peace out.